The narrative that the mainstream media uses climate change to oppress Christians is a complex and multifaceted issue. While it is essential to acknowledge the importance of addressing climate change, it is also crucial to examine the potential biases and agendas that may be at play in the media's coverage of this topic. Some argue that the media's portrayal of climate change is often used to marginalize and ostracize Christians, particularly those who hold conservative or traditional views. One way in which the media may be using climate change to oppress Christians is by perpetuating the narrative that Christianity is inherently at odds with environmentalism. This narrative suggests that Christians are somehow less concerned with the well-being of the planet and more focused on their own spiritual salvation. However, this is a gross oversimplification of the complex and nuanced relationship between Christianity and the environment. Many Christians believe that caring for the environment is a fundamental aspect of their faith, and that it is their duty to protect God's creation. Despite this, the media often focuses on the views of a vocal minority of Christians who deny the reality of climate change or downplay its significance. This creates a false narrative that all Christians are anti-environmental and resistant to scientific evidence. In reality, many Christian denominations and organizations have issued statements and taken actions to address climate change and promote sustainability. For example, the Catholic Church has been a vocal advocate for climate action, and Pope Francis has spoken extensively on the need for Christians to care for the environment. Another way in which the media may be using climate change to oppress Christians is by promoting a secular and materialistic worldview that is at odds with Christian values. The media's coverage of climate change often focuses on the economic and scientific aspects of the issue while downplaying the moral and spiritual dimensions. This can create a sense that the only valid responses to climate change are those that are grounded in secular and materialistic philosophies, rather than Christian theology. For example, the media may emphasize the need for governments and corporations to take action on climate change, while ignoring the role that individual Christians can play in promoting sustainability and caring for the environment. Furthermore, the media's coverage of climate change often involves a form of moralizing and shaming, in which those who do not conform to the dominant narrative on climate change are labeled as deniers or skeptics. This can be particularly damaging for Christians, who may be accused of being anti-science or anti-environmental simply because they hold a different view on the issue. This kind of moralism can create a sense of fear and intimidation, in which Christians feel that they are not allowed to question or critique the dominant narrative on climate change. In addition, the media's coverage of climate change often involves a form of selective reporting, in which certain facts and perspectives are emphasized while others are ignored. For example, the media may focus on the most extreme and catastrophic predictions of climate change while downplaying the uncertainties and complexities of the issue. This can create a sense of hysteria and panic, in which Christians are pressured into conforming to the dominant narrative on climate change without being allowed to think critically or skeptically. In conclusion, the idea that the mainstream media uses climate change to oppress Christians is a complex and multifaceted issue. While it is essential to acknowledge the importance of addressing climate change, it is also crucial to examine the potential biases and agendas that may be at play in the media's coverage of this topic. By promoting a narrative that Christianity is inherently at odds with environmentalism, perpetuating a secular and materialistic worldview, engaging in moralizing and shaming, and selectively reporting on the issue, the media may be contributing to a sense of oppression and marginalization among Christians. Ultimately, it is essential to promote a more nuanced and balanced understanding of the relationship between Christianity and climate change, one that acknowledges the complexities and uncertainties of the issue while also respecting the diverse perspectives and values of Christians.